Hi, welcome back to another episode of Her Story Hour. I don't know why I said hi like that, but we'll just pretend it didn't happen. But yeah, how's your week going? My week is going so good. My January is going so good so far. Like I said last week, I'm really in the swing of things. I'm eating better. Haven't really got into doing the steps yet that I wanted to do. Just going to work, got back into the swing of work. That is an unfortunate thing, but I mean, at least I'm back in the swing of it. And yeah, I'm just doing what I'm doing. I'm really in my what's it called, winter arc, when you just hibernate from people and just focus on yourself, is what I've been doing. And it's so great because when it comes to summer, I'm not actually, I can't even say anything because I was going to say I'm going to pop out, but I'm not going to say that because just you wait and see me in the summer. I'm going to be, I can't even put it into words. It's like that TikTok, and it's like, wait, I can't laugh yet. Wait, I don't even know if I'm going to post that because that's cringe. But anyway, yeah, I'm really happy right now and I hope you're doing the same. And if you're not doing so great, I understand. Like, winter is actually such a hard time to be happy because in this past week it's literally been freezing. It's been like -3, -1, 0. It's been absolutely freezing in England. And honestly, if you're like an outdoorsy person that likes like the bright light and stuff like I do, like in winter, I feel worse. Actually, do you know what? That's kind of a lie. In winter sometimes I actually feel better than summer because, for example, last year in the summer it was bright outside, sunny, which I absolutely love. But because I wasn't getting out and doing stuff, I was then feeling guilty, which made me feel even worse. So when it's winter, I kind of feel good because I'm like, oh, okay, I don't have an expectation to be outside of me doing things. But yeah, that was myself putting pressure on me too much. But generally, typically I would feel worse in the winter, so I understand how it feels, but just use it to your advantage. Use it to focus on goals and not be outside and just keep warm and have cozy nights, look after yourself, all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I hope your year has gone off to a good start. Something that I have been thinking about recently, because I've been making all these changes and stuff in life, I've been really like trying to focus on what I want. It makes me think about what we're going to talk about in this episode, which is like the pressure to be doing certain things in your late 20s or even mid 20s sometimes, because I've been feeling it from mid 20s that I should be doing things. But the older I get, the more I realise that that expectation is just like kind of made up. I don't know. So for those of you that are feeling that expectation, I'm just going to go through like a couple of reasons we feel like that and basically like why we shouldn't feel like that. Just long story short. So everyone knows, well, I'm not gonna say everyone because I'm sure not everyone feels it, but a lot of people feel that pressure to be doing something in your late 20s. And the typical stereotypical things would be to be somewhere up high in your career, have a successful career, to be married or at least dating, engaged, something like that, and then to be thinking about children, planning to have them, pregnant, had children, planning your next children, having a house, a mortgage, or at least renting somewhere. So like home, children, partner, career, like, I don't know, a good amount of friends to go out with. All of those are sort of the normal things that people would expect in their late 20s. First of all, let me just say that all of these things are societal norms. So they're like things that are normal in our society. So the things that you've seen for years on TV shows or like in magazines or books or been taught things at school where you've seen things like that, like it's just like from our parents as well, it's literally just been put on you throughout your whole life, which is because it's what society and the people around us expect us to do. And in a way it's kind of not their fault because they were brought up in the same way, where like everyone around them thought that this was the same thing. Because I've been recently thinking that like certain things in my life, I think I've only done it because I was expected to do it and I didn't really know any different. But now I'm kind of thinking outside the box. Like new thoughts are coming inside my mind. Like should I be actually doing certain things? Like when I think about marriage, I think I've always wanted to be married and I feel like I really have pushed for it before. But like, should I have? Like, was it really necessary? Deep down, I feel like, yes, I would love to be married to someone eventually. But is there a rush to do it? I don't know. I'm actually questioning myself now. Like, is it really worth it? And the same thing with children. Like, I've always wanted children since whenever I can remember. Like, since I was a kid, I wanted to have children. But again, and I thought it was just because I was a loving, nurturing person, which I am, not to toot my own horn, I am. And I would love to have children, I know I would. But I'm actually questioning now the importance of it. Like, is it such a big deal that I have children right now? Like, can't I just like wait a few years? And to be honest, my plan with children, where I've settled it on it, is that yes, I want children and I feel like right now I would be ready. But at the same time, until I have that person in my life that is also ready and stable, then I'm not going to do it. And if it comes to the point where I have to do it on my own, then I feel like I can. Like, I will adopt or have IVF or something. But I'm going to set myself a realistic time limit, as in like it will be in my like mid to late 30s, because, well, I need to do some more research on that to see when it would be sort of realistic. But I mean, I'm not just going to put too much pressure on myself to be doing those things. So yeah, just because society tells me to and us to, that's why we feel like we have to do those things. And another similar reason that we feel like that is social comparison. It's because we're looking around and all the people that we know have got their lives together. Even if they haven't got every single box ticked, they have something. So a couple of my friends have kids. Some of them have a home. Some of them have careers. Like there's always something, at least like one or two, maybe three, maybe all of them that they've got ticked off. And it's so hard to look around and feel like you're doing the right thing, because it's so easy to feel left out when everyone else is like making the certain moves and you feel like you should be doing the same thing too. But yeah, like I said, when I've stepped back and I've really looked at it, I think, is this actually really what I want from my life, and is this right for me? So I've just got a few pieces of advice. If you're feeling like this, try and help you change your mindset and not be so stressed and feel so under pressure to do things, okay? Because you can't be living your life stressed and under pressure. Everyone in this life has a different path, okay? Firstly, the way that someone else does it is not going to be the same as the way you do it. So for example, like, I can just think of like 4 girlfriends and all of them are in different positions right now. 3 out of 4 of them have got kids and they've all done it in different ways. One of them is a single mother and is doing it on her own. Another one was a single mother and then has now got like stepkids as well. It's a different way to do it. My other friend has been with her partner for like a few years. They got married and then they've had their kids. And then my other friend is like actively planning to have her children. Like, they're all different in different ways. And then there's me, who hasn't had kids and hasn't got a partner. And I know so many other people my age that are in the same boat as me, and other people my age that are in the same boats as them that fit into those categories. And there's also other ones which I probably haven't even dived into or looked into because I'm not surrounded by them. But what I'm saying is, everyone goes about things in different ways. And even when you look at our parents, they've gone about things in different ways. There is no one set path. There is no one size fits all. Like, you know, when you go to the shop and there's that one size fits all jumper, no, it doesn't actually, because it only fits a select amount of people. Because how can a piece of clothing which is a certain size fit every single person when every single person is a different size? It never made sense to me how one size can fit all. No, it does not. We're all so different, have so much to offer, different things to offer and do and learn. So don't feel that pressure. Just take things at your own pace, because just let me lead by example. Is I really thought that I was in a big rush to get married, and like I just told you, like I thought it was something that I had to do, and I thought it was like a normal thing to do. And when I've actually like got settled into it, although there was some flaws in the relationship, I never said this out loud, but part of me was kind of scared of the marriage thing, and thought, partly because of who I was with, but also because I was thinking, is this actually really what I want? God, it sounds so awful when you say that. If they're my partner and I love them, of course I want to be with them for the rest of my life. But at that point in my life, I wasn't actually ready for that. Yeah, I thought I was, but it was actually just the pressure of everyone around me who was saying, oh, you're so good together, you're going to be together forever. And me being so worried about what other people were doing and what I saw like on social media and stuff like that. That's the only reason I really pushed for it so hard, I think. And I feel like in a way that was kind of like a downfall of our relationship as well, because was it what we both really wanted? Probably not. So, but it's a learning curve. So yeah, also another thing to remember is just to be kind to yourself, because I often, not these days, well I try not to these days, I try and check myself, but we often like beat ourselves up because we didn't do this or we didn't do that. So what? Like I said, everyone is on a different path. The way we're doing things is okay for us. So just like be nice to yourself and try and focus on the goals you have. They might not be related to any of those key social norms. They may not confine with those social norms, but if they're the goals that make you happy, then they're going to get you to where you need to be in your life. Some people like probably don't achieve any societal norms, and I bet they're living their happiest life because they're not having any expectations over themselves. Because think about this, like the times when I've been upset or not feeling good, it's because I've set myself too many expectations and I'm not meeting them, and I feel like I'm just like disappointing other people, disappointing myself, not doing good enough. But like just living your life without those expectations is just so free. It's so free and nice. Like I said before, if any of you listen to the podcast, I'm actually just living my life with the purpose of my life is to be fun and for me to enjoy it. So my life's been so much better since I've adopted that attitude of just to have fun and not think about all the things I should be doing. But yeah, it's good to have goals and things, but they don't have to align with social norms. So just do those things that you enjoy and you want to achieve, and just focus on yourself. And then those things, if they're meant for you, are going to come into play. And if they're not, then they're not. And also just like speak to other people around you, because some of them may be doing things which fit into societal norms, which is fine, but they may do it in a different way to what is socially acceptable. It's good to talk to different people, see their different views on it, because to be fair, I think a lot of people these days aren't doing things the normal way. Like, maybe there's people that don't want to get married, they don't want to have kids, they're not. So, you know what the main thing is I've seen is, like, on TikTok, everyone's saying, what is this career? Like, what is the 9 to 5? Like, what is this life? Like, that's not for a lot of us these days. Like, it doesn't really fit into our lives. So, yeah, and I feel like also, my other point with this was, like, a lot of us don't know what we're doing. Even me, like, I really had that expectation that I should know what I'm doing all the time, but I actually don't know what I'm doing half the time, and I don't know what I'm working towards. I'm actually just living my life day to day, and whatever happens happens. Like, if, like, sometimes I have these crazy new ideas, like, oh, I want to do this for work, I want to do this, and I'll search and I'll look and I'll see if it's not attainable, or, like, I'll sit down for a little while and really think about it and think, does this fit into my life? Would I, like, realistically think about, would I actually enjoy getting up every day? Would I enjoy the travel there? Would I enjoy the hours? How is my social life going to fit around this? How are the things I enjoy going to fit around this? How would the salary reflect my life? Would I be able to live a comfortable life? I think about all of those things, and I think, would that career actually fit into my life? And if it doesn't, then it's not for me. And also, there's also this, like, big pressure of, like, having things together. But really, when I sat down to think about this, I was like, what actually is having things together? Is it having that dream job? Is it having a partner? Is it getting married, engaged? Is it having a car? Is it having a house? Because think about it, there's never actually been a time in my life, and I don't think there ever will be, where I'll sit back and be satisfied and be happy. And I think same for a lot of people, because there's always that next goal, that next thing to achieve or do. Like, when you're married, you've got your kids, you've got a mortgage, you've got a career. If you're sitting in that house, it's not like you're going to be satisfied and you're like, yeah, I've made it, this is it. I don't think you're ever going to reach that point, because you're going to be then thinking, well, I don't know, let's have more kids, let's upgrade the house, let's get to a different level in the career, let's try something else. You're never going to be stagnant, ever, ever, ever. So basically what I'm saying is, it's easier said than done, but don't stress, because no matter where you get to in your life, you're never going to get to a place where you think there's nothing else for you to do. There's always something to do, always. There's always new goals and things you want to achieve. And yeah, just by thinking that way has kind of helped me. Maybe it makes you feel more stressed, because you might think, well, wow, how am I going to be ever happy if I've constantly got these goals? But it makes me feel a sense of calmness, because I'm like, well, if I'm not aiming towards something which is going to be finished, then why am I stressing? Like, I'm going to be feeling like there's always something to do for the rest of my life. So I might as well just sit in the moment, enjoy it, because otherwise I'm going to be constantly stressing about the next thing rather than enjoying the present one. Because when you're thinking that you can't relax because you've got to get to a certain place, you're actually expecting that when you get to a certain place you're going to relax, but you're not going to relax. You might as well just relax. I hope that makes sense to you, because it makes sense in my brain. But yeah, that societal pressure is just, it's fake, and it's actually the reason that I've spent the whole of my 20s stressed out. But actually, equally at the same time, I will mention some benefits of it. Is taught me some lessons. It's got me to where I have, like, if I didn't feel pressure from society to reach a certain stage, I don't think I would have ever gone to university, which is, like, one of my greatest achievements, I think, and which means I wouldn't have met certain friends, I wouldn't have had certain life experiences and jobs, I wouldn't have probably been engaged and planned a wedding, because I think it actually took that for me to realise that maybe I wasn't thinking about marriage and it wasn't really at the forefront of my mind. And I wouldn't have been in certain relationships, I don't think, because I would have just thought, well, if it's not for marriage, then I would have just left a bit earlier maybe. But those relationships are important and part of a lesson. I think at the end of the day, it's so much easier said than done, but just don't care about what other people think. Like, sometimes people make comments without thinking and realising that you don't want your life to be a certain way. Like, for me, I couldn't care less. Like, when it comes to the end of my life, if I haven't attained all of these societal norms, I don't care. As long as I can say I've had a good time, I've lived a good life, I've had good experiences with good people, then it's fine. And also, I forgot to say on that point, actually, about the friendship thing. Like, I think it's actually expected that, especially as a female, I don't know, male as well, because I guess you want to go out with the lads, it's expected that you have all of these friends. You have, like, a group of friends that you go out with and you, like, live life with and grow up with, like, but also just normalise loneliness, and that a lot of people our age, like in their mid to late 20s, don't have, or even early 20s, because I've not always had a huge friendship group, but it just definitely deteriorated between my mid and now towards the end of my 20s. Like, you don't always have that big friendship group. Like, a lot of the time you're on your own because people are actually just off doing their own thing. And it's not like we have all of that free time now. Like, it's so crazy because when I was younger, I thought, like, what's going to change? But jobs become more serious, people have families. Yeah, actually, that's funny. I just had a thought about that. Like, the reason that friendships do sort of disappear is because of people doing all those things that are part of societal norms. But, like, it should actually be societal norm as well that you do still go out and make time for your friends and stuff. But I guess certain things become more important, which is fine. But it would be so good if people could just include time with their friends. Like, even if, like, because now me and my friends used to always go out drinking all the time. That's how I would see each other every week. But now a lot of them are not interested in that. Don't get me wrong, I wouldn't want to do it every week, but I'd still be interested in going out and doing that kind of thing sometimes. But also, like, why can't we do other things? Like, we could go to, like, museums, art galleries, go on trips, away, abroad. But then the thing is, everyone's struggling with money, whatever. Whole different subject. Can't remember what I was even saying now. But at the end of the day, life is what you make it, and it's part of your choices. So if you don't want to do something, don't feel like you have to just because someone else tells you should. Because let me just tell you what will happen is you're going to do all of these things that you expect that you should be normal, and then you're going to come to a point where you've got those things, and then you're going to think, like, is this really what I wanted or what I needed in my life? And then you're going to feel empty, you're not going to feel happy, you're going to feel like there's something else missing, and you're going to be constantly chasing other things to make you happy because the life you've built doesn't make you happy and doesn't serve you. And yeah, it's just going to be a miserable life, to put it bluntly. Whereas if you don't do certain things, I don't really know what I'm saying right now, I'm just totally going into overthinking. But basically, live your life for you, do what you've got to do, ignore what other people say, because at the end of the day, they are not in your body. They do not have to go around and live your life. If they want to live their life a certain way, then that is absolutely fine. Let them live their life that way. But you do not have to. You don't have to confine to these norms unless that is truly what you want. There's actually nothing wrong with confining to those norms if it's what makes you happy and it's what you want to do. Like, there's nothing wrong with being in love with someone and marrying them because they're your person. You want to be with them for life. Fine. There's nothing wrong with having kids. It's absolutely a beautiful thing. There's nothing wrong with having a home. I would love a home. I would love to be able to afford to have a mortgage, but a lot of people our age can't afford it. Or to even rent. I do rent, but that's because I have a friend to rent with. If she wasn't there, I would have to live with my parents. That's absolutely fine. Most people our age are living with parents because they can't afford to move out. And like I said, lonely sometimes because I don't have a huge group of friends that want to go out all the time. It's actually fine. You learn to love yourself. You learn to do things yourself. You learn to focus on your goals and what makes you happy. Fill your time with those kind of things and you'll be fine. Truly, you will. And like I said again, you can be happy either way. It doesn't matter. But yeah, I just wanted to hopefully let you know that you don't have to feel that pressure because it's actually not real. It's something that society has just made up and we've put it into our heads and stressed ourselves out for no reason. Like, when you think about it, is it actually really that deep? Like, life, is it really that deep? Is it really that serious? Like, no. We're here on this earth and we can do what we want. We can just float around. I could lay on my bed and just do nothing all day if I really wanted to. Well, to a certain extent. Really, once you learn you have free will, you have free will. Like, just go out there and do what makes you happy. You got this. Okay, that is the end. That's the end of the episode because I feel like I've just rambled on for too long. But I hope that you have learned something from this and it's made you feel a bit better, a bit less pressure off of you. Yeah, always be kind to yourself, always be nice to yourself. And yeah, if you enjoyed the podcast episode, then if you're on YouTube, Spotify, whatever you're listening on, don't forget to subscribe so you can see the next episode. If you're on YouTube, click the bell and come back next week. I'm posting episodes every single Wednesday, so come back and see what it is we've got to talk about next week because we've got some interesting things to dive into because we're going to have the best year of our lives this year and it's only going to get better every single year. Okay, that's enough talking today. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.